This is one of the most amazing features of the Revolution. This leg press is not a compromise at all for a home piece of equipment. It rivals many commercial gym leg presses. Part of it is because of the foot plate, part of it is because of the sliding seat with a seat back, and a big part of it is because of the doubling system that increases the resistance 2 times from whatever you put on here. So realize that if you load up 100 pounds, 50 on this side and 50 on this side, and then you hook up the seat the way we describe in that section of the DVD, then what you have set up is 50, 50, 100 times 2, 200 pounds on the leg press. And that's pretty cool. But now taking a look at how to really set up some of these features. Number one, the feet position on the foot plate. The width is something you can vary a little bit. But as you go wider than hip width, you need to also slowly start turning the toes outward, just very slightly. So if Josh was to go clear over to the edge of the foot plate, going over there, and of course you always want to keep your whole foot on the foot plate. Don't ever think, oh, I need to be wider, and just put half your foot on the foot plate. That's a bad idea. It's scary. You might slip off. Okay, so keep your whole foot on there. Always push straight into the foot plate. And now that he's a little wider, notice he's got the angle of his thigh and the angle of his foot going the same direction. That is so great on his knee to do it that way, right? The height on the foot plate, you can manipulate that a little bit based upon your leg length, because this length of your femur or your thigh is going to affect what's comfortable here, and also how much bend do you want in your knee. So there's some things to consider. Now, relative to range of motion, there's a lever down here at the bottom. And if I release this, if you go ahead and come back forward a little bit, take a little pressure off. If I change this back here, it's going to allow Josh to go further back if he needed more. Let's say that someone with real long legs gets on this thing and slides back, and if the snap hooks and the ball hits the seat before he gets all the way back or something, well, he can adjust this lever down here to get further back. Conversely, it also changes how far forward he can go. For example, if I put this all the way back here, then he doesn't get to go as far forward. His tension stops at about right there because this is hitting back here on this pulley. So we can adjust this and determine his starting position as well as his ending position. So you'll need to play with those things and become familiar with what works perfect for you. Now, as far as the actual pressure you're going to put through your body, I'm going to ask you not to necessarily push through your toes or even your heels, but to push straight through your tibia, your lower leg, straight through your ankle, right there through the middle of the arch, okay? And I'd also like for you to keep your low back and your upper back against the back pad the whole time. So try not to let your pelvis curl up, because sometimes as people come forward, their pelvis curls up and they get a big bunch of flexion in their lower back, their spine. We're going to try our best to avoid that. So if you can remember all those things, push evenly on both sides, keep your thigh and your toe pointed the same direction, push evenly through your foot, right through your ankle, and keep your low back against the pad and your pelvis against the pad, then you're going to perform a great, great leg press. Perform it by thinking about tightening the legs all the way around, because you're using some hamstrings and a lot of quads, and of course a lot of glutes too. So don't just think about shoving against the foot plate. Think about what you're using involved in this exercise, and try to keep tight as you lower yourself down. Tighten the whole leg super tight, and only go as low as you can control with the tension you generate, and then use that tension to slowly tighten and squeeze the muscles to perform the press. Tighten yourself back out there. Don't just try to shove, okay? You'll get a lot more out of it by trying it with those intention-based cues.